Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to another plan with me. This time we are doing a daily plan with me, but before we get into that, I wanted to show you guys the last two color palettes, one of which we'll be using today. And by the time this video goes live, all 5 of my color palettes will be live on my Etsy shop, so you can get whichever colors you like. All the links for those will be updated in the description for this video and also my other 2 plan with me's for the month of January. Alright, so for the new sticker packs, we have my personal favorite right now, which is this one. I like this one because, I don't know, it feels, again, very dreamlike, like the first color, but it's like brighter, and I think it's the softness of like the bold colors that it just brings me so much joy, I guess. So I'm really excited to do my daily plan with this one. I can't wait. But of course the stickers are the same, it's only the colors that change. I think this will be a color palette that I probably use throughout the year, and because almost all of this is suitable for the entire year, like words of affirmation, gnomes, washi tape, paper clips, like these are all things that I can use all year. I don't see myself only using them a certain time of year like I would with the Christmas or the Halloween ones, for example. I think the only thing I'll probably avoid would be the snowflakes when it's not winter. But yes, I love that one. And then there's this one. This is my 5th color palette. It's actually the first color palette that I chose, and I think it's probably my least favorite, but I have a hard time saying that because I do like the colors. But I think the problem is once I started picking other color palettes, I just realized that I liked the other ones more. I have always been a fan of different shades of blue and yellow together, so like I said, I do like this. If you're also a fan of blue and yellow, then this might be a good color palette for you. And it does work really well in wintertime, and it's got that nice soft pale yellow, which I personally think complements the coolness of the blue, but maybe that's just me. Anyway, I'll do one last quick flip through of these colors in case you haven't seen the other videos. If you haven't, I suggest checking them out. I will leave links in the cards here. But we have our 5th color palette, the 4th one, my current favorite, the 3rd one, the 2nd one, this is the one I used in my video for my weekly plan with me, and the 1st one, which I used for my monthly plan with me. So those are all of my sticker sets. I'm just going to flip back here to the ones we're going to be using today. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So if you watched my last video, you would have seen me put this together. I'm going to go ahead and toggle off my editing tool here, and I'm just going to click on the 10th. So that's the day that this video is coming out, so that's the day that we're going to plan for. Alright, so here the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to grab my lasso tool, and I'm just going to lasso around here, and I'm going to take a screenshot. And then I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. And then I'm going to crop it. And I'm going to come to the rectangle tool, and I'm just going to crop out that edge. I'm not sure if you can really tell on camera, but there's the blue edge that goes around, and then the inside is white. So I'm just going to crop out that blue. Tap done. And then we're just going to move this over here for now. I'm going to come here to one of my ombre effects. Let's do this one. Gonna just copy it and paste it. Grab my picture tool. So I'm just gonna resize this here. And then I'm going to cut this one and then paste it on top. Grab the picture tool. I'm just gonna resize it so that it's smaller and that it fits in there nicely. Okay, and I think I just want to make it a hair taller. Perfect. And then I'm just going to lasso this and move it down. All right, and so I think I'm going to grab this one now that I like. I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to paste this here. Grab my picture tool. And I'm just going to size this over. I want to make sure the width is the same as that. So if I need to zoom in, I will. And yeah, those look like they're pretty much the same size, so I'm content with that. All right, so now to add a space for notes in here, what I'm going to do is come to my elements, and I'm going to tap on this white block, grab my picture tool, and I'm going to move this over. And I do want to keep it consistent with the white that's above it. I want everything to look uniform and intentional, so I'm just going to match that the best that I can, and then I'm just going to bring this down here and try to center it. And I think that that looks pretty good. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is come to my stickers. I'm gonna copy this lettering here. I'm gonna paste this, grab my picture tool, resize it, and I'm gonna squash it a little. I'm gonna grab the white pen tool. All right, and this is gonna be my to-do list. So I'm gonna come in here and write to do, but then I need something in the center here. So it's that pretty green color. I can come here and grab this star, copy it, come in and paste it. And because it's the same color, you won't even know that it has a circle around it. And there we go, it's my to-do list. All right, and then I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to lasso this part, and I'm just gonna take a screenshot, and then I'm just going to copy it and paste it. And now we're going to crop it. So I'm going to just crop the lines here, and I'm going to resize these and elongate them a bit, not too much. And I want it to be about halfway because I'm going to copy it and paste it again and try to line it up nicely. And actually, I don't really care if it overlaps at all here. I think that will help. And then I'll just paste one more. And if you need to zoom in, feel free to do that. But now I kind of want to move everything up a little bit. So I'm just going to do that real quick and fast forward through it. You definitely don't have to sit through that. Now, if this is something that you want to do in the future, you can, of course, save this as an element. You can move all of the pieces that you want to reuse over to the center where there are no images behind them. Just lasso them and add them as an element so you can use them in the future. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add some circles in here. So I think I might use all of the different colors. So I'm just going to grab my lasso tool and I'm going to grab all 4 of these circles. I'm going to copy and bring them over here. And I'm just gonna resize them to a good size for to-do list. Okay, and I'm content with that. And yeah, so here we're really just lining them up the best that we can. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I do think that it's gonna be super cute. And if you are saving this as one of your elements, I would get everything as perfect as you can and then save it, because if you put in all the hard work the first time and you keep using it, then it's totally worth it. If you don't think you're gonna use it again, then it's okay to just kind of wait it out and not make it perfect the first time. But this is definitely something that I could see myself using again in the future. So that being said, it would make the most sense for me to take all the extra time I can to line this up as best as I can. But when I look at this, I notice that these lines here are off center. Basically, this whole section could be moved over just a little bit, but that's going to be a huge hassle. So what I would do if I wanted to save this as an element for future use is I would probably use this dot grid here as a guide to help me line everything up perfectly. And then I would begin to cut and paste and put my layers on top of each other how I want them, and then save it as an element. Alternatively, what you could do that would take less time would just be to select everything except for those lines, but then they're impossible to see, but you can sort of guess how far you need to move it over. And I think the centering is actually okay for the most part. I might move it over just a teensy bit more, and then I know I need to move it up, but at least then you don't have to move all of those other pieces, and you can kind of play around with that. And then once you're happy with it, which I think that looks pretty good, then you can move it all over. I'm going to delete these. All right, so now for the rest of this, I'm just going to block these sections off. So I'm going to come to my elements, and I'm going to use my little white box, grab my picture tool, resize everything to cover it all up, add another one. I'm going to end up using 3 here, so I'm just going to move this up to cover the title. Okay, so now that I have this beautiful blank slate, I'm gonna first put in my heading, so my date. And I think what I'm gonna do is kind of similar to what you guys would have seen me do in my last video. I'm gonna copy these stripes, I'm gonna paste them, grab my picture tool, rotate this, line this up nicely across the top. I'm gonna add in some text, make this much bigger, and write January 10. And I'm gonna grab this, make sure text boxes is on. I'm gonna tap on this and then triple tap and then change the size a little smaller, but I think that's okay. And now that text boxes is the only one on, I'm just going to move this. I think I am gonna make it just a little smaller. I'm gonna drag these blue dots to the edges so that I can get it perfectly center. center align it. And now I'm gonna go in with the color white and maybe like the biggest thickness. And I'm just gonna come in here and outline the letters. Truthfully, you really don't have to color it all in as long as the edges are very clearly filled. And now for this part, we definitely need to make sure it's just text boxes turned on. We are going to cut it and then paste it on top. Now, if you feel like you need to go in and touch some of those parts up, you can just kind of adjust it till you're happy. All right, so I'm just going to change this color by selecting the text, hitting color, and then I'm going to add a custom color. And one of the ones from this color palette that I want to use is 99D9CA. And I'll put all of the hex codes in the description. I'm just going to delete that line there, and there I get that nice darker green color. Perfect. All right, and I did just go ahead and add a little more thickness to that because I thought it looked better. But you know the drill, I just went in with a thicker pen tool, traced all around it, cut just the text box and pasted it on top. So now to do the Eisenhower Matrix, I need to put a big square here. So now what I'm going to do is take one of these. So I'm just going to turn on images. I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to paste it, grab the picture tool, resize it, and I want it to be a square. Okay, so now once I'm happy with that, I'm going to come to my elements and add in these squares. Basically, I need to be able to put 4 of them in here. So like one here, one there. So I think they're gonna have to be adjusted a little bit. Now the whole point of my spacing here, and it has taken me some time to figure this out, is to get it so that it's close to the edge, still has a slight divider, but that there's a thick border on this side and that side. So I think I'm at a good place finally. Let's see. Okay, good. And I just kind of played around with this until I felt comfortable with the sizing. So it was a lot of like cut and paste and adjust. But again, it's one of those things, if you think you're going to use it again in the future, then you could save these 4 squares as one piece, and then you can easily just add the background, and then you can use it with any of your color palettes. I haven't used the Eisenhower Matrix in a while, but it used to be one of my absolute favorite things, so I've decided I'm going to bring it back. So if you wanted to take this and save this as an element, you're going to have a hard time even if you delete this, because then you're going to have to delete everything that's behind here, which you can do, but it might be a little bit of a pain. Alternatively, what you can do is just select this, copy it, and why don't we just come to the table of contents up here, check out our thumbnails, and go to the outline. And if I scroll all the way toward the bottom, we're gonna have these extra pages, and here's an extra blank paper. Okay, and then what you can do is you can either like add a black background, or what I'm gonna do is I'm literally just going to color with my biggest highlighter here. And this is just going to allow me to see behind it. So I'm going to come in here with my lasso tool and I'm going to paste. And then this way I know when I select these different picture pieces, what's there and what's not there. I can see any of the white that might be hiding. So if I want to save this whole thing, then I can just lasso it and add it as an element. But I want to save it so that I can use it with other color palettes. So I'm just going to delete this part, and then I'm going to select and make sure that images is on, but handwriting is not. If handwriting is on, then you'll save even the scribbles as the element, and we don't want to do that. So I'm just going to select this. It's only those 4 squares, and I'm just going to add element. Add it to my digital planning section, and there we go. Now I can save these on this page if I want to. I can completely clear this page, whatever you want to do. It's nice to have this blank page that doesn't have any stickers behind it, and you can just come up here and you can clear page. And then I'm just going to come right back to January and come to the 10th. And if you wanted to, you could even do it once you've added the text. So the point of this whole matrix is so that you have urgent and non-urgent things up here, and then you have important and not important things down here. So I'm going to go in and just add the text. Okay, and I think 43 is a good size here. I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to add some spaces and make this longer. And I'm just gonna only have it on text boxes. And I'm gonna come back and just adjust. I find this easier to do with the keyboard. So let's make sure that urgent is centered. And then we'll make sure not urgent is centered. Okay, great. So I'm just gonna select all of this and turn this white because I would like for it to be white. And then what I'm gonna do is with my lasso tool, I'm just gonna select these and copy. All right, now we're just gonna paste this. So we're just gonna rotate it so that it's 90 degrees and it fits in here nicely. And then we're gonna come in here with our text tool and change the words. So this side is gonna be not important. And then the top part is going to say important. And I am gonna triple tap all of this. And I'm just gonna come and make sure that the size really truly is 43. I think with the rotation, it doesn't quite look like it. So I'm just gonna size it until I'm happy with the look of it. Maybe it's my eyes playing tricks on me, I don't know. All right, so I'm just gonna select the text, center this bottom one here, and then I'm gonna come in with my text tool and just add spaces until important is centered enough for my liking. Okay, and so the idea here is then anything you put in your to-do list, you can then sort based on, is it urgent and important? Is it not urgent, but it's still important? Is it not important, but it's urgent and needs done soon? Or is it not important and not urgent? And this has helped me in the past so much to prioritize my tasks. So obviously things that are important and urgent are things that you're gonna wanna do, and you're gonna wanna do them as soon as you can. These things that are less urgent, but still important for you to do are things that you're gonna schedule out. You're gonna put on your schedule so that you get them done. If something is not important but it's still urgent, depending on what you do for work, what your position is, you might just be able to delegate here. That would be the ideal situation, but let's say that you run your own business and you're the only person on your team at this point because you're just starting out, then maybe you can't delegate, but it does at least help you to prioritize when to do it. And I've definitely used this in places where I wasn't able to delegate just in my day-to-day life where there are things that I have to do, but it still does help me a lot to prioritize and how much emphasis and how much of my own emotional energy needs to go into it. If it's not something important, then I don't really need to stress about it. I just need to do it. And then if something's not important and not urgent, see if you can just eliminate it because clearly it doesn't serve a major purpose. All right, so now the very last thing that I want to do is just put a little section in here for gratitude. So what I'm going to do is come to my stickers, turn on images, take this peach color, paste it, center it, come back with this cute little purple heart, grab my picture tool, and I think maybe grab the light one and paste this one too. I'm gonna grab my picture tool. I'm just gonna make this a little longer. Right here in text, gratitude, triple tap, center it, change the color to white, and then add spaces by drawing a line. I'm gonna triple tap again. I want it to be a little bit bigger, or a lot bigger. I'm gonna grab my lasso tool, turn off images, that there. I think that's so cute. I love it. All right, so I really like this. I feel like my daily plans are always so much more functional and a little bit less cute. Anyway, I feel like even though it doesn't have all of the fun new elements, it still is super cute and a very creative way to use the elements and all of the different pieces and just really kind of make things your own. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please give it a like and consider subscribing as I put out new videos every few days about my digital planning and this process, as well as a few other creative ways that I like to use my iPad. Anyway, that is all for this video, but thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys in my next video.